Hey guys, what's up? This is Prez Kamori here from Yu-Gi-Oh! Excalibur and Hardcore North Wrestling. I am here in just a short review video. This is a video that has just shortly been requested by one of my fans. This was brought up yesterday, I believe, by Brawler549 Reborn. I believe that's his name. And he wanted me to make this quick video, and I figured, since I've got the rare amount of time in my personal life to actually do something, I figured I might as well do a little explanation. So what he wanted me to do is, he wanted me to make a YouTube video since he was asking how I made the openings and endings to both of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Excalibur seasons. And I thought this was actually a great little thing that, somebody would have had to bring up. This is just some little footage from episode 36, by the way, while I talk. But anyway, so in this short little video, there's been actually quite a few people over the years that have been wondering. So in here, I'm just going to do a little review on both of my openings and endings for Season 1 and 2, and kind of go a little bit in depth, and explain a little bit on why I created the editing system for both songs, why I created the songs, not created, but used the songs that I did, and why I edited the video to look like it did. So, anyway, through my personal take, in case any of you need an update, I'm working on episode 37 right now. I'm kind of in the middle of filming. It's halfway finished. I'm also doing some other footage for Project Games. And there's me giving myself a thumbs up. That's a good symbol, I guess. So, anyway, yeah, I'm just going to be doing my takes on each of the openings and endings. My personal take on it, and maybe throwing a little bit of a, personal story through it. So, anyway, let's get started. Alright, so the first opening of Excalibur. I remember this was actually created by, God, I can't remember the fucking name, off the top of my head, but it's the Japanese artist that created the 13th opening for Bleach. For most of these, selecting for an artist that I did, I try to look for bands that did anime openings and try to find underrated other songs that they've done before in the past. And as I was doing this video, you can see it's got a little bit of the bars thing, but that's just, the formatting through the downloaded videos, because I had a big laptop change in the middle of doing all of this from my Windows 7 going onto my Windows 8. I did this through Pinnacle Studio 15. I didn't have a lot of resources to go. All three of those scenes that you saw right there with Ice Cold Pedro and with Paxton, you saw the camera shaking a little bit. Those were actually blooper takes. At the time that we did this opening, this was when we had filmed for episode 2. You can see that there's no black cutoff from there. And we had just filmed for episode 2, and this was at the time where we didn't finish episode 2, but at the same time I was ready to get started for that. And this is when I had my old, Excalibur format for Pinnacle Studio 15, the way the light points look the way they do. And some of the old Excalibur crew members, you can see right there, in episode 2 right there with Paxton, it showed a card, but it doesn't do that, here. It did later in episode 2. But I thought this was an overall good song to use, no complaints. And here for the second ending, this is from Usoda Wonderland by Asian Kung Fu Generation. They did the second opening to the original Naruto and the 7th opening to Bleach. Another one of their songs that people have not really touched base on at all. And the reason why it looks this way, the way it does, the box out with all of the black bars the way it does, and you can see kind of by the lazy scrolling. I actually had to do this through 3 formats for this ending. I had to go through Pinnacle Studio 15, then I had to go to Windows Live Movie Maker just to add the credit scrolling, because I didn't know at the time how to add the scrolling effect with Pinnacle Studio. It's one of those weird programs where it has a lot of advanced effects, but at the same time it doesn't have any of the simple stuff like simple scrolling credits. So that's why it looks the way it does. And it was a little bit grainy out of quality. I couldn't upload it really in anything higher than 480 quality. But I really like this song anyway, and I figured this had to be, shedding some light upon. And there's just some me and, same story with me and Paxton. I actually remember I was on vacation in the Wisconsin Dells when I was editing this ending out, and there's another scene from episode 2. Yeah, I was actually in the Dells with Paxton at the time 2 years ago editing for this thing out. So that's my take on the opening and ending for Season 1. Now, coming into Season 2, you can see the original here. This is actually stretched out a bit. The quality is always going to be a little bit dubbed down. And there's the Lazy Far effect. around this time, Sean and I actually came up with this opening together. Fun little fact, the original opening for this was going to be, the third opening, I believe, to Blood Plus, Colors of the Radiant, whatever that song is, but, I could not use that due to copyright restrictions. There's an original piece right there that Sean and I got for filming, you know, because he was up here for a brief time, maybe 3 days. We live on opposite sides of the state, you know, kind of just like that. And, anyway, I really like this song also that was placed over here. This, I can't remember where the band comes from, but it was another band that did a Bleach opening. You know, it seems to be a lot of connections with that personally. So, actually, this is the band that did the second opening for Bleach. Yeah, sorry for my pausing. But anyway, there's an early shot of my brother Jake, you know, before his identity was revealed. And there's the shot of me. Now, here's the interesting part. Here's scenes from episode 21. There was Greg back then. You know, he was originally going to be scripted to come in. But, you know, there was a lot of technicalities and shit with, you know, getting everything in plot-wise. There's, Paulo and Zach foreshadowing to, the thing. That shot of Yuri right there was going to be an unused scene between him and Prez Komori that we never got to use for canon reasons because I had my other computer shut down. So there's that. And I really love this ending right here. This is Akino Shidade by Aqua Times. Also did the 6th and 9th opening for Bleach. This is one of their best songs to date, and not a lot of people have really put a focus into that. This is just a, I put this here as like a throwback kind of feeling, going as far as Season 1, showing Prez Komori over time, you know, with his first duel with Paxton, then going to Zach Pies. There's his shot for episode 13, you know, meeting with Sean for the first time. Just an overall progress with Prez, Sean, and Paxton, you know, the three main characters. And look at my hair back then. That's not how my hair looks to now, you know, today, obviously. That's when I was first meeting Sean. But this is when I was personally in my emo days, like when I was getting around to that, you know, through my personal time. But, you know, that's a whole different story. There's Sean with his shorter hair, of course. That's where he made his debut duel against Zach Pies. This was kind of on the thought of being evolutionary progress. And, there's, of course, the crossover between myself and Sean. Yeah, the whole thing with Paxton, too, you know, you'll see coming up. The whole thing with him coming up with Season 2 didn't really ever get to work out. You know, he wasn't too much of a good actor, but, you know, he was still a vital part of the storyline while it lasted, you know, during his part. You know, especially with all the throw-arounds of the Wicked Eraser. But anyway, this was pretty much just like a flashback montage to how it is now. You kind of see through that there. I used that for the openings, too. That's why I made it the way I did. So, anyway, that's just my take on, all of those openings and endings. Just a little backstory on how all of those, came to be. You've seen all of these for nearly 40 episodes. You're gonna see these for the next 4 or 5 episodes, you know, coming up to, conclude Excalibur between Prez Komori and Eclipse. No, what am I talking about? Not Eclipse, fucking Maverick Illblood, that guy. I'm stuck in Hardcore North Wrestling philosophy. But in case anybody's wondering about that, we do have about 45 or 50 minutes of total video for our pay-per-view TNT night, for anybody that's a fan of that. Otherwise, I'm still working on Excalibur at around the same pace. I think you guys are going to really like episode 37. That's when the duel really starts to kick off. There's going to be a lot more improved effects. You know, me personally, I get more into green screening. That's always been a helpful tool. So anyway, I'll leave you guys to work with that. And there's my badass climbing skills. Thought you guys know that. Anyway, this has been Prez Komori, and I will see you guys in a couple weeks, alright?